Ayo, peace. I come in the righteous name of Emir X, you know. And today I wanted to come through and build upon how build on today's math and today's degrees and how I see them and share my understanding with you and share the knowledge and wisdom that I got with you. And I hope that y'all been living great, staying good with your health, drinking your plenty of waters. I just got back. I just got back. I got plenty more water upstairs, my spring waters, as best as I can, you know. But I just got back from doing a quick grocery shopping to get my waters. And also, I got off my 10-hour shift at work that I work every day, So now it's time to get and do the work that we need to do within our own culture, which is to go out and teach. We know to anyone who don't know, and I always be adding on to the cipher, But I hope y'all been building up your immune systems and staying away from sickness and eating one meal a day and eating the foods that's gonna add on to your health, but also your mental and your spiritual health, and been eating the spiritual food before the physical food, because I ain't had dinner yet. All I had is my coconut water, my regular water, and some black seed oils with natural raw honey. But you gotta always have your spiritual food before your physical food. And it give you lots of good benefits within your mind and make you at peace, but also allow you to think clearly. Because we don't just eat one meal a day for the physical benefits. Your mind is thinking more clearly and it's not distracted with digesting food. So we should do our studying of our math, studying of 120, studying of the alphabet also, and whatever you gonna be doing. And also thinking positive thoughts, keeping up with your prayer, not prayer to a mystery God, but prayer how the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, right? But hopefully y'all been building positive and taking away from the negative that's inside of you, right? But I had to build this. Gonna be a real quick build, but today's degree is number 2. Today's degree is wisdom, part itself. Today's degree is wisdom, or meaning number 2. But number 2, wisdom. Wisdom is a wise word spoken by the wise man. Wisdom is a manifestation foundation, which is the knowledge, right? How I see today's degree is to show to you, or how I see today's degree is that wisdom is what's being done with the knowledge, right? So it's also something that comes forth from the knowledge. It's also elevating the knowledge, right? But mainly, how I see today's degree is it's what's being done with the knowledge, right? And if you look at knowledge and wisdom, if understanding is a combination of knowledge and wisdom, and knowledge is just the intake of information, right? That means wisdom. Also within wisdom, it means to do your own research, to cross-reference, and to compare with what you know to be right and exact, right? That's also a thing of wisdom, but wisdom is what you do with the knowledge. Now, if you look at today's alphabet, number 2, be or born, be is to exist, born is be is within the supreme divine culture, right? A rock is just existing. You look on the ground, it's a rock. A rock that's just existing. You see a chair sitting there, a chair is existing. This TV is just existing, right? We not on that time, right? We have to always constantly be making efforts and advancements and trying to create a manifestation, right? So if born is be exists within the supreme divine culture, the physical manifestation we have to create and what we have to be constantly living existing in. So just as how a tree or how a rock sits there on the ground and exists, just how it does that, right? We have to always be doing what? On research, on cross-referencing, and comparing with what we know to be right and exact. Cross comparisons and sort of stuff like that. We always have to be studying and manifesting what? Drawing up the knowledge, right? So we can bring ourselves to an understanding. So we constantly have to always be doing that, because that means to be existing within the supreme divine culture. Because culture is your way of life, so it's what we always going to be doing, right? But this is supreme divine, meaning it's going to be the highest elevation. It's going to be the highest level of operation, right? It's going to call for a lot of work to be done. So in our culture, we always have to be doing these things. We can't just do a little bit here, a little bit of there. We have to always be doing it, not just do it when we feel like it. Do it because it's best for us, not because what we want to do. It's what we have to do, right? So we always got to be living out this culture of making a manifestation and doing something with the knowledge, not just leaving it there. We always have to be doing it, Like I just said, they can't be doing a little bit here and a little bit there. Have to always be doing it. Just like that rock is just sitting there existing, you have to be sitting there and existing within your supreme divine culture, meaning you have to be existing within actions that's of a high level. And when I say of a high level, I don't mean to no just dumbass words and statements and sayings. That's what they call them. They call them sayings and stuff. I'm talking about things that have meaning and things that's gonna bring forth something good. Things that's time I'm talking about constantly working at something. If you got a project, it's constantly working to finish that project. What's our project? What's our end goal? Is to civilize the 85%. So we have to always constantly be working at that. But be born just shows us be a born shows us that we have to constantly be at it, constantly be doing something with the knowledge, putting the knowledge forward, and always doing our own research, cross-referencing and comparison with what we know to be right and exact, right? Always be doing that. Okay, now let's go to today's 1 through 10s. Today's 1 through 10s, the wisdom of green as number 2. Who is the color man? The color man is a Caucasian man. Yaku's got the devil, skunk of the planet Earth, right? And that shows us, how I see that degree, is it shows us, it shows me, it shows us that, you know, I'm not I'm not wise in tricknology. I'm wise to tricknology. Because if you study that, who's the colored man? Number 2, who's the colored man? The colored man is Caucasian man. Yaku's got the devil, skunk of the planet Earth. Right? If you study that, you see that he's a manifestation from the foundation, from us. We the foundation, right? Meaning he came from the black man, but he's so far removed, he's no longer of the black man, right? So he's the physical manifestation. But like I said, he's so far removed, there's no longer the original, right? And when we look at him, when we study the colored man who came from the foundation, right, who's made from the black man, you see that he's the most wise in tricknology, right? He's very wise in tricknology, and he uses it to deceive people, mislead, not to me, try to destroy the black man. So if you look at that degree, I'm not wise in tricknology, I'm wise to tricknology. Meaning, there's only 2 things you could be doing if you know the truth. You could either be sitting there enslaving people or you can be freeing them. Even if you sitting there idly by and not doing anything. So you either B is to exist. You sitting there idly and not doing anything and watching your brothers get blood sucked and fall victim and stuff. Or you could be the bone, which you're always taking initiative, always taking action, and always working towards something in all areas of your life. If you look at someone who's living out today's mathematics, right and exact, and myself included, I don't, this goes for me too. Anything I ever said on this YouTube channel, anything I ever said in life, everything I ever said to a person, it goes for me as well. I'm just your brother. I'm nobody. I'm the same as you, right? But right. If you just sitting there idly by now, you gotta be constantly making and taking initiative and constantly working towards something, working at something. It's hard at work always, right? So that shows us that we can't be wise in tricknology. So sitting there, because even if you're sitting there idly by, you still enslaving someone by not letting them know the truth when you're perfectly capable of doing so. And it's not because what you want to do, it's what you have to do, right? Now, when we look at that, that shows us that we got to be wise to tricknology. So we got to be able to identify it. And you can't get to identification in the mind, understanding, without doing what? The wisdom. And you always got to be constantly manifesting that knowledge and taking the information and doing your own research, doing your own cross comparisons and comparing it with what you know to be right and exact. That's what we guys should be doing. And we ought to be doing it constantly. Be a born. Born be exist with the supreme divine culture. Meaning we always at work. We always working towards something to bring something about. And we always working to draw it up into what? Understanding. Which allows us to live out the mathematics. But we drifting too far away from the day's degree, right? So it shows us that that I'm not wise in tricknology, just sitting there idly by, watching my brothers being blood sucked, not doing anything about it, which I'm responsible for the 85% for, right? I'm actually working and I'm doing what? Because wisdom is also a wise word spoken by the wise man. So you bringing yourself, you're qualifying yourself with your understanding to go and teach knowledge and wisdom, right? So you gotta qualify yourself. And once you've done that, you go teach your brothers and sisters. But you also gotta be studying because guess what? We have to be wise to tricknology, so we can't fall victim to it. So you always gotta be on guard and on post. You can't let your guard, just like I said, can't do a little bit here, a little bit there. It ain't like a homework assignment. I'll do some on Monday, a little on Wednesday. Oh, please, can I have another day? There ain't gonna be no other day. The time of this world is at hand, right? It's the now end. Not just saying everything's gonna come at once, The devil ain't gonna be. It's gonna take 1,000 years, right? So you always within your own good time, but you always have to have that sincerity, and you always have to be putting forth your best efforts. Because when you do your best, Allah does the rest. Because Allah is a power force which guides the entire universe, and the original black man is God. So we have to do what? Live up to our universal identification, because that's our nature, right? Now, when you go to the days 1 through 14, number two, uh why did Musa have a hard time to civilize the devil 2000 BC? Answer: because he was a savage. Savage means a person that has lost the knowledge of himself or who is living a beast life. Musa was a half original man who was born in Italy, which is in Ponso. Musa was a half original man and a prophet. 2000 BC means before Christ, and the Asiatic world is in 11,000 years, right? Knowledge equals wisdom, right? When you do knowledge to your own knowledge, that's the wisdom, right? But looking at that, why the Muslims have a hard time civilizing the devil? By nature, he can't accept Islam. He can't accept truth. He's an adversary to Allah, and he's an adversary to righteousness, right? But guess who we teaching? We not focused on the color man. We do teach all the human families of the planet Earth. If the color man come up to us, we won't be afraid to say black man is God, white man is the devil, because that's the truth. And you got to be unequipped. We got to be unequivocal with truth. That goes for me too. You can't be afraid to say nothing. You can't be afraid to lose his backpats and his smiles and his false empty promises and other fuckery and bullshit that he do. You can't be afraid of that, right? And this goes for me too. Anything I'm saying, it's like I'm talking in a mirror, but I'm also sharing it with my brothers, right? But but yeah, but we trying to teach the original man, right? And by nature, he can't accept Islam, so it's much easier. But although it ain't as hard as teaching the colored man, it's still going to be a tough job. It's going to take a lot of work. So we got to what? Qualify ourselves to do so and speak them wise words. Not only just speaking words, but actually doing action, bringing forth an equality, right? But we got it's a large hard job. Musa had a hard time, but he still did what? He still carried out what he tried. He did his best to do what he had to do. He had to teach him a little bit of Tricknowlegy. He had to teach him how to build a home for himself, right? And he had to be sent there, right? He still seen it. He wasn't able to civilize the devil, right? But he still did his job to the best of his ability, right? So we gotta do our job as the best of our ability. You might face opposition, you might face some whatever, but we gotta keep on qualifying ourselves so that we can be prepared for that opposition and doing the what? Cross-referencing, comparisons, comparison with what you know to be right and exact, and doing cross-referencing, right? And your own research, right? So this is going to equip ourselves to do that job of civilizing the 85%. And it's going to be a hard time, but we're going to have to do it. Because guess what? Musa couldn't civilize the devil. Because the devil can't be civilized by nature. But guess who can be by nature? Right? The black man. So it can be done. It's going to be a hard job since he's not the physical embodiment of a savage, meaning he wasn't removed from the foundation of himself, which is the black man, right? But he's been reared by the devil, right? He's been made other than himself, but he's still the original man. So that's how I see that. Now I ain't built on the days 1 through 40 yet, because I always have to do it with gotta go do for self and on kind, but you gotta qualify self first before you go for on kind. Else you're gonna do a half done job, just like a half done piece of bread that's gonna buckle your stomach and cause more bad than good, right? It's gonna wear on your stomach lining. I ain't trying to wear on the lining of your brains or lead anyone astray. So that's why I gotta build on all the before degrees and qualify yourself before. But I did build on today's 1 through 40. But how I see that, how it ties into this is you know, the wisdom degree in 1 through 40 is number 2. Was the circumference? That's 24,896 miles, approximately 25,000 miles, right? How this could fit in with today's degree, and the reason that we must know these things is because guess what? We master science of reality. We also created the earth. So we got to know all the different dimensions of the earth, all the different characteristics of the earth or your black woman, right? But we have to be wise to all these things so we can go out and teach them. And we have to know the actual facts, and we got to, because we know the approximate, but we also know the right and exact, the 24,896 miles. So we have to go out and teach the same exact way, because if not, that only leaves unknown. Within the unknown, that conceals the truth, and that only leaves room for mysticisms or spookism. So someone could come up and say, I know the answer to the square miles of the planet Earth, and give a spooky answer, or say, oh, you're not supposed to know that. Only God is supposed to know that. And they say a mystery. They mean a mystery, a spook. And Yakub's creation when they talk about that. But we have to know these things. We have to take the blanket off and actually know them. We can't be guessing at nothing. Whenever you manifest in the foundation, right? Whenever you saying it's the 25,000 square miles, you guys still know you have to have the information, right? The information, or other way around. If you know that the square miles is not square miles, but the circumference is 25,000 miles, right? That's the knowledge. That's just the information. But once you go manifestionize, you do your own research, you come to that what? You come to realization that's actually 24,896 miles, right? And that's what approximately is 25,000 miles. So it gives you that extra what? So you could say it down to the T, right? So that means you could show and prove. No one's gonna you gotta leave without a shadow of a doubt that you know what you talk about. And the only way to do that is by doing the wisdom and qualify yourself before you speak. And this goes for me too. So I'm just your brother. Everything you did, I did too. And we both just followers of Islam and followers of the teachers of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we are the same. I'm not God over you. You're not God over me. If you're a Muslim, you're still my brother. And we all have to be right and exact, and we gotta respect everyone understanding. Every man has a right to his own understanding, even if it's different. You got a right to your understanding, right? But we are brothers, so we have to all come together, and we got to do that to the best of our ability. All the black folks, I don't care if you're in Nation of Islam, Nation of Gods of Earth, it's the same thing. Anyone who's not right and exact, that's not Nation of Islam. If you were Muslim in the Nation of Islam and you talk about the Sunni Islam or whatever, that's not Nation of Islam. Or just like if you were a job pretender and you talk, the black man is God, but you still you out here selling drugs to the community and killing your own brothers, but you a job pretender. And that, just like us trying to say one of them spooky so-called Muslims is a real Muslim or a real member of Nation of Islam, that's not. So just the same as we shouldn't do that, it would be the equivalent of them seeing of someone in the Nation of Islam seeing a job pretender and thinking that's what a 5% is, right? Because we are the same, we are brothers, because a 5% is also Muslim or a Muslim son, right? So we gotta respect we all gotta come together, the best of our ability. Obviously, it's a now end, but just because you don't see immediate change, don't get discouraged, right? But with the God nation and the Nation of Islam has to come together, right? All the black folks have to come together because this is the now end, and we don't have time to be divided, time to be separate. We all got to come in and do for self and own kind and build our own nation, be about economics, but this myself included. So I got to shut my mouth and get down to work and thinking of my own economical, not just thinking about my own economical plan, but actually making an economical plan, But peace, we all have to do the best that we can, And I hope y'all keep y'all health up and y'all get your spiritual food before your physical food. Peace.